Is now A.
Your Honor, Mr. Thomas will be presenting this item.
Okay.
Well, good evening. I'm John Thomas, Assistant Director of Administrative Services. Your Honor and members of the City Council, the item before you tonight is to consider an award of contract for the Network Virtualization and Off-Site Data Backup Project, and is a supplemental agenda report to the report submitted to you last week on May 20th. This RFP seeks an implementation that will migrate the city from an existing Hyper-V virtualized environment to a new VMware environment, expanding existing data storage capacity, and implement an off-site data storage disaster recovery solution. The RFP for this project was sent to 32 vendors on May 6th and outlined the purchase of equipment, software, installation, configuration, and testing of proposed items as described in the RFP. Staff has received and reviewed 4 proposals, which were due yesterday on May 24th. Of the 4 proposals received, 2 were not considered, one because they proposed to complete only one of the tasks required in the project, and we felt the hours assigned to that task were not adequate. Additionally, we felt it preferable to have consistency with one vendor providing the tasks, and that would be help with consistency. And the second one, because it was the highest priced. The remaining 2 RFPs were evaluated based on the number of hours to complete the project, their proposed scope of work, and cost. Staff's recommendation would be to award the contract to Landspeed. Although they propose a greater number of hours to complete the project, they will only bill for the hours which are required. Also, they are familiar with our existing network environment, having provided us with network support on numerous occasions in the past and lately through our multiple power and network outages. We have been happy with their work, trust their assessment to be accurate of what needs to be done with our existing network, and believe that given the urgency and importance of this project, that Landspeed, due to their familiarity with our network, could get the project completed in a minimal amount of time, and that they would be the best choice. So at this point, the suggested action is to authorize the city manager to execute a professional services agreement with Landspeed for the network virtualization and off-site data backup project at the total project 3-year cost of $75,795.18.
Your Honor.
Question. Yes, Ms. Craven.
Well, and at this time, I can answer any questions.
Sorry. Yeah, how long do we anticipate this will take?
We think it could be
I don't
done-
mean the 3 years. I'm talking about getting the initial part finished.
At this point, the estimate would be about a month, 4 weeks.
That's good.
Great. Yes, Mr. Little.
You mentioned a number of virtualization and a couple other things. I'm not sure I understand. Is this the city's main computer?
Yes, this is our network and our network servers, and it's the environment that those servers exist in.
Right. And the reason we're replacing it at this time is?
Well, we've found that currently our existing virtualized network is on a Hyper-V system, which is just a different flavor of a virtualized network. And industry standard has proven over time that VMware is probably a little more stable and work better in our situation. And so we're hoping to see more stability with our system in making that move.
And if I might interrupt Mr. Thomas for just a second, Mr. Little, we have been having corruption issues that we believe are related to the power outages, but it is corrupting the Hyper-V nodes in the cluster, and we feel that by going to the VMware that those issues will be remedied.
What is a Hyper-V? I've never heard that term.
Well, it's again a type of technology that allows you to put more than one server on a single machine, in the most simplistic terms, I guess.
Well, you have to get simplistic with me.
It used to be that servers were individual boxes, and so if you had 21 servers, you had 21 boxes. They had 21 different power connections into the outlet, and it just used a lot of energy. And it was found that these servers could be virtualized, where actually it's only one appliance, one plugged in, but it's a virtual server. They can be recreated very quickly. It helps in management of certain applications that require additional servers. We can just create one. We don't have to go out and buy a whole nother box and configure it, and these things can be virtually created.
I'm beginning to understand it. Thank you.
You're welcome, Your Honor.
Any other questions?
Yeah.
Kevin?
Yeah, John, is this going to be predicated and billed on an hourly basis, or will it be a contract not to exceed?
They will, at this point, it's based on the hours, and we feel the estimates is pretty close to what it will take, although they will not be billing us for hours not worked.
Did they come down here, or did they do a lot of it in-house from where they're in Goleta, right?
They've done both,
Okay.
yes. We've had them on site a number of times for past work that they've done with us, and they also can come in remotely and work too.
Okay.
Well, not come in, but they connect remotely and can do work.
And they
But
think they can do it in somewhat around 4 weeks time frame? That's somewhat
that's
in
our
that?
understanding,
Okay.
yes.
And most of this project will be done on site. There will be
On-site.
some remote work, but the majority of it will be
Will they
done on
be, where would they be located on site here?
site, in our server room.
In your serving room, okay. Okay.
Other questions?
Thank you. Can you tell us a little bit about the backup storage and the recovery time? How quickly can things be recovered with this system?
Yes, so the backup solution, what will happen is the data is replicated to an appliance, and if something would happen to our network, we would be able to actually reconfigure the servers through that appliance. The vendor touts a 1-hour recovery time, although I have a feeling that is once everything is completely streamlined and figured out. And so that would be our hope, is that we can get the backed up servers up and running within a few hours of an outage.
Okay. So the network's up and running. So how about your data storage? Do we have off-site storage now of data, or will this be storing that?
Currently, our offsite storage is on tape, and it's and that creates a number of issues for us because it takes a while to write to tape, and sometimes our backup takes almost all night to run to get that to tape, and it interferes with other processes. Whereas this will be backed up to an appliance as well as to an offsite location, and should something happen where even the appliance becomes inoperable, we can still connect securely to this offsite location. And again, the data that this would be backing up is the file type data, what we call our U drive. It's all the user files as well as the file servers, or the F drive, where most of people's working files exist.
And so this backup is actually physically on a server at a location, not up in the clouds?
That is correct. It's at a physical location.
And is that location far enough away from us that if a natural disaster occurred, we wouldn't lose both?
They have major data centers in Reading, Pennsylvania, and in Salt Lake, Utah.
And so
And
they
they have
go
a
to
number of-
both? They go to both sites then?
They'll be at both sites, but they also get replicated to other locations too. But those are their two major data centers that at least they are at.
Okay. So we would have it here, and we'd have it in 2 of their sites?
Correct.
So we have it, and you want them on each coast? You don't want them on the same, I mean, that's just the world we live in.
When California all falls down into the ocean, we won't be here, but our data will be.
That'll still be there, yeah.
Your Honor.
Any other questions? Yes, Ms. Craven?
No, I don't have a question. I have comments.
Yes, comment.
Yeah, in working with staff on various things the last month or 6 weeks, I've become keenly aware of some of the problems they've been suffering through. I mean, with the power outages and the computer problems, it's really hard, I think, been very hard sometimes to get work done. And I can certainly support this. I'm not sure how old everything is that we have, but I'm sure it's time just from age, not from anything else, to update whatever we have. So unless there are other questions, I'm ready to make a motion.
Okay, go ahead.
I move to authorize the city manager to execute a professional services agreement with Landspeed for the network virtualization and off-site data backup project at the total project 3-year cost of $75,795.18. They wouldn't even give us the 18 cents off, huh?
I'll second that.
We have a motion.
Tax.
We have a motion and a second. Any other comments? Please vote. That motion passes 5-0.